Hi, I'm Marlene Perez. I'm the author of The Afterlife of the Party, which is the first book in a new teen vampire trilogy out with Entangled Teen. I'd like to read just a little bit of the book for you. Skylar put on a song from a band I'd never heard of. "Play the Drainers," she commanded, and the voice-activated playlist started. We listened in silence for a few songs. "The Drainers?" I asked. "They're a newer band. Don't you just love them?" she asked, which meant she wanted me to like their music. I did not like their music. In the back seat, Vaughn snorted but cut it off when Skylar glared at him in the rearview mirror. "Vaughn's a music snob, but I thought you'd like it," she told me. Vaughn wasn't a snob, but not really, but he was a talented musician and pickier than most. "Emo's not really my thing right now." I settled for a polite but evasive answer. It wasn't strictly true. Emo was my thing if it was well done, which this was not. The lead singer hadn't found a note he didn't like, even the off-key ones. She bounced in her seat, in no way fazed by my lack of enthusiasm. "It will be." The party was off Mulholland, and Skylar took the turns with reckless abandon, which made talking for the next 10 minutes nearly impossible as my stomach was firmly lodged in the back of my throat. When we pulled up, there were cars lining the street. Skylar circled the block, but there were no parking spots to be found within a mile radius. She stopped at a red light and turned to me. "We're going to be late," she said. She had tears in her eyes, which seemed extra, but she'd been more emotional lately. "Do that thing you do," she begged. "Skylar, you shouldn't ask her that," Vaughn said sharply. "It's not a big deal," I said. "Your granny wouldn't want you to use your magic on this," Vaughn pointed out. He was right. My grandmother would be disappointed in me if I used my powers for something so trivial as a parking spot. But my friendship with Skylar wasn't trivial, and she rarely asked me for anything. "Please, Tansy," she said. She was my best friend, and it wasn't like she was asking me to turn her ex into a toad or anything. There was magic in the world if you knew where to look. Finding a parking spot in LA required luck and sometimes a little magic. My two friends were the only ones at school who knew I was a witch, and neither of them had ever needed me to prove it. But I needed it, so I'd shown them what I could do. It hadn't been a big deal the first time I'd done magic in front of them, but for some reason, it felt like it was tonight. That if I used my magic right now, it would change the course of the night. But I decided to do it anyway. "Go around the block again," I said, slowly. Skylar squealed, knowing she would be getting her way. Thank you," she said. The fervent note in her voice gave me pause, but I closed my eyes and concentrated on the spell. We were back to the party location. At first, I thought the spell hadn't worked, that we could turn around, head home, and eat popcorn and watch a horror movie on Netflix instead of going to this party. 2 houses down, a Tesla pulled out of a space, and Skylar crowed triumphantly before nabbing it. What I hadn't told my friends, because I didn't want them to worry, was that magic always had a price, and I would have to pay it eventually. That's just a little bit of the book. I hope you enjoy it.